Hello and welcome to another episode of FPL Expectations with me, Craig. Game week 10 has finished. Game week 11 is approaching us. There's so much to cover today. We're talking about transfers. We're talking about game week 10 reviews. We're talking about even Premier League cancellations. Yes, the first cancellations so far due to COVID-19 is upon us. So we're going to get expert analysis on how we maneuver our teams around that. Who do we get rid of? Who do we bring in? Obviously, I don't give you that advice. I've got two of the very best in the FPL world with me. Say hello to Mariner and Joe. Mariner, Joe, how are we doing?
Good, mate. Not bad at all, thank you.
Hey, good.
Yeah, first of all, thank you for... well, yeah. First of all, thank you for coming on to the show. It's a late night one. It's 9:30 here in Malaysia and Singapore, but we've made the time for you just so we can help you and let our experts share some of their FPL knowledge with you. We're going to go straight into it. Game week 10 review now. We had some big scores, especially from Mariners team. Did really well this week, and he's going to tell us a little bit more about how that went for him.
Yeah, so it just seems like I'm on a bit of a streak at the moment. There's always an element of luck in it, but the hit that I took, which was Son out, Jota in, Rodriguez out, KDB in, that netted me 19 points. Bear in mind that I have no intention of captaining any of those players, and I did captain KDB. So from that perspective, it was excellent. It went really well. So, I mean, look, if we look through the team very briefly, Martinez didn't do much again. Chilwell returned, as did Dallas, Grealish, and Fernandes. So very happy with the returns, and good returns at that. For once, my forward line let me down. That's the first time this year, I think, that I've blanked completely across my forward line. I'm not quite sure. It's one of those things, but I'm not too worried about it. And I think, to be honest, that forward line's pretty much template at the moment, by the looks of things. But yeah, so I mean, all things considered, we're not wanting to go into too much detail on it, but team value is going in the right direction, 103.9. Very happy with that. My old rank, 216.7k. Now I'm up to, I've broke the 100k. So at 86. So yeah, pretty happy, to say, Craig.
Yeah, fantastic. 74 points there for you, Mariner. We're going to go to Joe's team, and he's going to tell us how he got on with his game week 10. First of all, just going to say hi to the guys that are watching. BJ Garb, do I remember you? Of course I do. How can I forget? And yes, you are first. Thanks for joining us today. Is Mariner a Mercedes F1 fan? Mariner?
Yes.
Yes, he is.
Yes, I am. Yeah.
He is, hence the top that he's got on. FPL Swing, how are you doing? Nice to see you again. Kieran Turner, now he's a little bit familiar to you, Mariner. For those of you who don't know, it's Mariner's son, all the way over in England. And he apparently gave you the tip, jump on Jota.
Yeah. He went on it 2 weeks earlier than me. I said it was a bit of perhaps a bit early to do it, but no, fair play to him. He also had an extremely good month as well. He's flying up the rankings as well by the looks of things.
Abhilash Menon says, "Hey peeps, hi Abhilash. I hope your wildcard went well. We did see your tweet, so yeah, we're glad we could help in some way, shape, or form. Well, let's go to it, Joe. Talk us through game week 10 for you."
Okay, I think same as Mariner. Martinez was quite a disappointment for me as well. I think, if I'm not mistaken, the whole game probably he only did about 2 saves, I think, and yet he concedes 2 goals. So I think it's just just something to forget. Chilwell, yeah, return. If you look at my midfield, there's an imposter right there, which is in the form of Raheem Sterling. Sadly, none of my subs played last game week, so nobody to come in. But hey, at least the captain returned, and Grealish and Fernandes, basically they're all returning 10 points except Sterling. And Bamford, DCL, and Adams also two. I think if I'm not mistaken, only two forwards returned. I mean, two of the popular forwards returned last game week. One of them being Wilson, and I'm not sure the other is who. But most of the popular ones blanked. I think Vardy was a popular one, and also Wilson. All the others blanked. So it's not a good week for forwards, but it's a good week for the popular midfields. Just disappointed with Sterling. Still not sure whether he's going to play against Fulham. He did play yesterday against Olympiacos.
Yeah.
Basically, they was it Olympiacos or Porto?
Porto last night.
Porto, yeah.
Yeah.
So they basically fielded an almost like a second team, and yet Sterling was in there. So it's
our good friend Foden.
Yeah. So what does this mean? I have no idea. So I mean, I have to keep him now because I brought him in mainly for the Fulham game. So hopefully he features in that. Healthy Green Arrow, I would say, up from 430,000 now up to 305. I mean, not as high as Mariners, but getting there, hopefully, soon.
Slowly but surely, Joe.
Yeah. I mean, Joe, I was going to say, interestingly enough, you mentioned forwards. The one thing which I noticed, I forgot to mention in my side, Bamford had 5 shots.
Yep.
Again, Bamford still to me looks like he is, a good asset.
Yeah.
Maybe not quite so now. It's starting to get to the point where are we at the first crossroads with the Calvert-Lewin? And just going back to me personally, I am getting pretty close to that crossroads with Kane now. His XG was 0.02 in that match.
But in saying that, just watching that match, I think they really kind of sat back in the second half, didn't they? They didn't really go for it. They didn't. I mean, they were happy to sit back and defend. And I thought Chelsea, obviously dominated as you'd expect them to. But we didn't see the same performance from the first half in the second, did we?
Yeah. But is that a sign of things to come with the harder fixtures? Is that the way? Is Mourinho going to go down that route? I mean, look, at the end of the day, they're playing Arsenal, so he's not going anywhere at the moment. But I have to say now, someone like Kane, I think the template is close to shifting, possibly for a few weeks. I think the likelihood of Kane having to come back in is very much there. But I think as we discuss going forwards tonight, I think, as we've said it time and time again, we've only got so much money to go around, and there's one or two players we've got to consider going forwards.
Yeah, I mean, you wouldn't want so much money tied on such an expensive player, and looking at a team playing like that, happy to sit back and just grab maybe just one winning goal, or just play it out.
Yeah, I mean the chances are he's probably going to be involved in that, but surely there's better things to do with that 4 million which you could generate by selling Kane and piling that into midfield somewhere for the next few weeks is probably where I'm going. So
exactly.
Bit of a spoiler alert, but that's roughly what I'm thinking, I think.
Yeah, because if you look at teams with good fixtures, they don't have prolific forwards, so they are all strong in midfields. Like you're talking about teams like City, teams like Liverpool. Their main assets are their midfields.
Okay, we're going to go straight away and look over to game week 11. Now, game week 11, not too far away. Well, it was meant to be, a short turnaround. But however, we received news just, what was it, yesterday, 24 hours ago, I think it was, where we found out that the first cancellation of the Premier League due to COVID-19 reasons, Villa and Newcastle has been cancelled. Now, I know amongst the three of us, we do have Villa assets, 2 or more, I think, if I'm not mistaken, in our teams. And now, Mariner, how big of a problem is it going into game week 11 when you have 2 or 3 assets, not playing?
It was always going to happen, wasn't it? It was always going to happen. I said it right back at game week 5. I said, COVID-proof your team. This is going to kick, and it's happened this week. There was little rumours about it at the start of the week, wasn't there, that Newcastle were possibly, lots of players were isolating. It hasn't surprised me at all. I mean, on a personal level, I'm not too bothered, being honest with you. I'm fortunate in that I've got Souček and Dallas on the bench to take the place of Grealish. But the trouble is, I've obviously got
Peacock Farrell.
Peacock. I think it's called Peacock. Well, anyway, Peacock Farrell, who proceeded to do a fabulous Sunday League impression of attempting to be a goalkeeper last weekend. At the moment, he's starting for me next week. So, with a bit of luck, I think I'm going to get 0 anyway if Pope plays. I think I'll get 0 if he plays. So, but no, my honest perspective is, if your bench is strong enough, I think just roll. I think take the punch and move on, because what we cannot forget is that this now means that Villa have 2 double fixtures, double weeks possibly coming up. It maybe not in the not too distant future. We obviously don't know, and there is no confirmation yet that they have actually not going to reschedule it for next week. Although I think that's doubtful now.
Yeah, Joe, just touching upon that. I mean, we know that Villa have 2 fixtures that they're going to have in hand, but surely the City match, which they missed at the first game of the season, would come before this Newcastle one. I mean, you told me offline, you told me that it's not very likely that next week will go ahead for this Villa versus Newcastle fixture.
I mean, initially I saw on Ben Kralin's Twitter, he said, at first he was, putting hope that it would be rescheduled to game week 11 in the midweek, but I think by announcing cancellation or postponement without any rescheduling, so it doesn't look like it would happen on game week 11. But
doubtful.
So to be honest, we really don't know.
Yeah, while we're talking about Villa assets as well, I mean, yes, this fixture against Newcastle isn't happening this week, most likely. But the next 4 fixtures are Wolves, Burnley, West Bromwich Albion, and Crystal Palace. Now, if you're thinking of getting rid of Villa assets going into game week 11, that's surely another reason to think again.
Yeah, I mean, that's my perspective, Craig. I think I brought these players in for the long run, and this was always a possibility. It's a shame because obviously I really fancied them against Newcastle. Actually,
yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
That would have been a really nice matchup, I think. But look, at the end of the day, Martinez is still one of the standout keepers for value in the game. Grealish is playing out of his absolute skin. And anyone who's got Watkins, yes, okay, he might not be on penalties anymore, but he's still got plenty of opportunities to score from open play. This might give Barkley the opportunity to recover from that hamstring strain as well, an extra one off. So yeah, I think it's really dependent on what you've got. And I'm looking through the chats. There's one or two horror stories, I think, in the chat.
Well, yeah, I was just gonna come to that, Mariner.
Yeah.
VJ Garb goes, I have 3 Villa and 2 Newcastle, and to add to that, he's got Digne as well. So that's 6 players.
No.
That I mean, there's
Oh
5
my
definitely.
gosh.
That's 5 definitely not featuring this week.
Oh.
Well,
But Digne as well could be. I mean, it's more than half his team. I mean, that's surely a wild card or a free hit. Surely.
Yeah,
Well,
surely.
Yeah, I think certainly wild card if you've got it. I mean, free hit. I tend to keep my free hit up my sleeve. I like that for when we get a serious blank game week or something like that. So I might be prepared to go in with 8 or 9 good players, perhaps, and captain one of them and go if I was going for it and try and hit my way out of it. Perhaps I don't know, but I obviously don't know what side he's got. But look, it's not surprising. I know a number of people who've got 4.
Yeah.
Who've got 4 assets. I think I'm fortunate in the sense I've only got 2. But,
Yeah.
But no,
I've got 3. Yeah.
It's really problematic.
Yeah.
But what I would say is that I don't think that we need to knee-jerk our way out of it. I think if you're in a bad situation like VJ there, I think I think you're in a position where you've got to do something. Whereas for people who can get away with, I mean, even going without a keeper this week, it's not the end of the world. You don't need to hit to bring a keeper in. It's not going to make the world a difference.
No.
Yeah.
Definitely.
That's my perspective. So I think there's clearly a lot of panic about it going on, and yeah, clearly it's annoying, but I don't think it's the end of the world. I don't think it's the end of the world for us.
Yep.
Joe, agree with that? Not the end of the world.
Yeah, because I've just looked through the percentage owned. Martinez is 26.7% of all FPL players. Mings is almost close to 13%. Konza 9.1%. Grealish 41.7%. Watkins is 9.5%. And on Newcastle side, the highest is definitely Wilson, 13.4%. So actually, I mean, if you're looking at playing 10 players or even 9, you're not alone, So it does looks like, it's everybody's going through the same thing.
That's right.
If
On
you
the
can
flip side
fix
of that,
it,
Joe, on the flip side of that, I mean, there's a real opportunity for managers who can get 11 players out there to really shoot up the rankings.
There is.
Exactly.
For example, if you've only just brought Grealish in and you've got money in the bank, you could get to Mahrez.
Yeah.
That would be an excellent move. I've looked to see if I can do it. I can't get there, I'm sure. And I was prepared to possibly take a punt on that. But to be honest with you, it's very much dependent on where you are with your own team, right? Clearly there's an opportunity to take a punt and you're not worried about team value, it could give you a very nice opportunity to jump the ranks. Because, for example, I've been playing quite aggressive for the last few weeks and I've been jumping the ranks. But this week is my week where I'm probably not going to play aggressively because I'm setting myself up to go aggressive again next week. So it's annoying, but I genuinely think that, we can, if your structure allows and if you've got the opportunity to burn a transfer without damaging your change for perhaps if you're looking to bring Salah in next week and you can just make one move, you can make a nice move, then I would have no problem in taking one of them out. But I do think you've obviously got to find a way back because you cannot leave. I think players like Grealish, quite frankly, are very, very important. I don't like the word essential, so I won't use it. So I'll say they're very important. They're very important for your teams at this moment in time.
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to shoot back to your teams. We've covered the Villa Newcastle postponement. So FPL managers out there, if you're watching, that's what you need to do. If you can get 11 players or even 10 or 9 on the field, do it. Roll that transfer. If you want to take a punt, do it. But obviously, value as well has to be taken into account when you're taking out, players like Grealish. If you've had him for a long time, built up that value, do keep that in mind. But we're going to zoom forward and look to game week 11. Go back to your teams, boys, and just tell us your transfer plans. And I know you might have just hit on that, and Marion, I know you have slightly. But what is your plan going into game week 11 in terms of transfers?
I'm going to try and do nothing. Robertson's a slight worry, but I think he played through his injury. I think he's just precautionary flagged. And I think they've got so much weakness that they've got hardly any players. So I've got a feeling they're going to patch him up and lob him out there, personally.
Yeah.
So I'm not too worried. I mean, look, ideally, I would have gone Lamptey over Walker-Peters this week, definitely. And now it looks like I'm going to have to go as 4-3-3. Because I've no option. But saying that, there is chances for an attacking return. But I can't see Southampton keeping a clean sheet, which is what's bothering me a little bit. But as for the rest, look, I think I think
roll for next week.
I think it's looking strong. I think it's in a good place, and I think I have to say, looking back on that wild card, I think the structure that I put together in game week 5, it took a little while for it to start, and I had a really poor week, if I recall, where I got that.
You did, straight after the walkout, you did.
And it could have been 80. I think it could have been 80 if I remember. But since then, this team has just pretty much seen me through. So obviously, I don't intend to make any moves this week. The dilemma, and it is a big dilemma, but it won't start till next week, because I'm not going to let it start till next week, is how do I get Salah back? For who?
Okay.
Because I am, for the first time, tempted to go to a 3-5-2 this season.
Okay.
And that could mean booting out my GOAT, Souček, even. Taking a -4 and losing Robertson as well. To go very, very strong across midfield, bringing Salah back. But again, this is going to be a big. This is going to be a big swing if I was going to do it that way. The other option is it would be Fernandes or De Bruyne. I don't want to take De Bruyne out; it's going nowhere. So it may be that if I want Salah, I might have to sacrifice Bruno.
Joe, straight to you. Same boat or not?
My boat is not as strong as Mariner's. Obviously, he's known as a mariner anyway. So my boat, if you can look at my subs, I have non-playing subs, and basically I have that infamous Martinez Steer combination, which actually sucked so bad right now. Looks like I have to play Semedo against Liverpool if I don't want to do anything. An option is to move Grealish out for Jota, so that I can boot Sterling out for Salah to pile up on Liverpool assets on game week 12. But as you guys mentioned just now, taking out Grealish in the midst of such fine fixtures, not sure it's a good move or not. Because after bringing in Salah, I cannot go back to Grealish anymore, which is a pain in the ass. Unless I boot DCL to Wilson, I assume they'll be back by then, and then I can go back to the Grealish route, which is actually it's a little bit messy. So really not sure what to do yet. I could downgrade Semedo to probably like Kufal and stand by the funds to bring in Salah for next week in place of Sterling. I could do that as well. I can still keep Grealish, but I still don't have. If I do that, I still wouldn't have any playing subs for game week 11, which actually sucked quite badly because last week nobody subbed in for Sterling. So it's still up in the air for me, to be honest.
Okay, just going to read some of the comments that have been coming in for those of you who are watching live. Abelesh goes, could transfer DCL for Wilson, but with the postponement, couldn't hold my transfer just yet. FPL Swing says Kane is flagged in FPL.
I've just looked. He isn't.
Oh, he isn't. So, not sure what's going on with your account there, FPL Swing.
I'm just going to refresh.
Mariner, I've had a look. On my page, he is actually.
Oh bollocks! So they must have redacted him. Oh,
is he?
Yeah, he is.
So he has a knock, but I wouldn't be worried. I think he will be.
Well, he'll probably get the rest in the Europa League, wouldn't he, this week anyway? So probably nothing to worry about, especially with the North London derby this week. And I'm sure someone like Harry Kane would not want to miss a match like that. So he'll be doing everything he can to get fit. So I wouldn't worry too much about that toward the Kane owners out there. VJ Garv is a Villa fan. He's got 3 Villa assets, and then that's probably why. He says he's happy that Villa accepted the proposal for postponement. I don't care about FPL. What are you doing on this page then? What are you doing? Get off, go to bed.
Go to a Villa YouTube or something.
Kieran goes, he's got 2 Villa and Wilson. Souček on the bench, so that sorts Grealish, but not sure where else to go, I think he meant.
Yeah.
Any advice, Daddy?
Maybe Antonio. I don't know, but I think the only problem is that I think Wilson's actually a good hold. So it might be worth just having a hunt round to see what else. I think he's got Vinagre. Get rid of him.
Vinagre.
He's not even in. He's not even.
He left about 9 weeks ago.
He's not even in the. I mean, has he got any money? I don't know. No, he's never got any money because he's always asking me for money. But
I love it. Absolutely love it.
No, I think I don't know how much he's got in the bank. I really can't remember. But I mean, if he's got money to even, Vinagre up to Kilman or someone like that, it's better than nothing, isn't it?
Well, has Kilman lost his place in that Wolves squad? No one knows he's third.
He needs 0.4, doesn't he? He needs 0.4, I think, from Vinagre to get up to a playing 4.5 defender. So.
Okay.
You can't take Wilson out. I'm remiss to say that. I think you roll with that. He's playing really well, and I think he's got some money built up as well now.
I just put up his fixtures. He's playing West Brom at home, Leeds away, and Fulham at home. That's like the dream.
They're tasty. Yeah, they're tasty.
Yeah, they're really good. I'm just going on to the mini league now to have a look to see who he's got in his team. Actually, whilst I'm talking. See how much money he's got.
Where are you? Shall I add you to the stream? No, that's your goalkeeper options.
I'm trying to find it. I'm not sure I can see how much cash he's got in the bank. Actually, I'm not sure it shows. No, I don't think it shows, does it?
No, it doesn't show.
No, it's not. It's not clear how much he's got there. So
we'll get to that. We'll get to that on Twitter or something.
Unless he comes back on, he might do.
Flaming Red VAM says, "Do you think Fulham could upset City?" Now, we didn't give Fulham half a chance against Leicester, and all those Vardy captainers jumped on that. Do you think Fulham can upset City, Joe? I see you shaking your head there.
No, not a chance.
Not a chance?
They might score. They might score,
yes, but I think they will get thumped.
Yeah.
Anyway,
they've really improved. Fulham are one of the biggest improvers in the last few weeks. With respect to attacking stats, so I wouldn't be surprised at all if they didn't score. Oddly enough, but no, they won't. They won't turn them over. If they score, they'll still need. I reckon they'll need to score 5 to win.
VJ Garb goes. Luckily, I had Schmeichel. Yes, I own Schmeichel and Martinez. So he's got Schmeichel as a backup. So that's good. He says he's going to remove. That's a very heavy bench, by the way. He said he's going to remove Lucas Digne for Walker Peters or someone and play 10 players this week. Sounds like a good idea. At least if you can get 10 players out there, it should be a decent week for you, providing they all haul. But yeah, I'm expecting a lot of managers to go with 9 to 10 players this week. Not a lot of them will have 11. Sorry, he also goes on to tell us his two other Villa players, which are Mings and Grealish. FPL match, I think that it's stupid mind games again. I'm not too sure what he's on about there. Kane, yeah. I was just going to say, it's definitely not about the Villa Newcastle fixture. That's done. That's done. Kieran said, sorry, he's at work. He's got 0.8 in the bank.
He's got plenty of money then.
He's good to go, I think. Abilesh Menon goes, thoughts on Anguissa? So we just spoke about Fulham and how they have improved. Do you have any stats for us, Mariner or Joe? Any observations on Anguissa?
Anguissa.
Hang on.
I think he assists the winner,
he did.
I think.
Yeah, he did.
But I think he was benched for one game, if not mistaken.
Yeah, I don't think he's nailed on, but I think after Fulham's win last week, I think it'd probably be the same team that goes out.
He's played 743 minutes, 17% rotation, so that's not a worry. And he's assisted twice. I
think he's priced at 4.5 as well, isn't he?
Yeah. And I mean, the other thing we've got to remember, and I think this is an important thing just to flag up to everybody now, is yellow flags. Start considering yellow cards in your transfers. We're getting a number of players up to 4 cards now. So we're starting getting close to suspensions. Anguissa's only got 1, by the way. But no, I think he's a cheap option, isn't he? I mean, he would sit 5th on your bench. He would be a Basuma for me. He'd sit also 5th midfielder, 3rd, probably 2nd or 3rd on the bench, probably.
Okay, so bench fodder there for Mariner. Got one more comment just came in from Fadil Khan, who asks, who are the best, more or less, 4.5 million defenders for the upcoming game weeks? So best 4.5 defenders for the upcoming game weeks.
I have pulled out the list of defenders, 4.7 and below. The one that probably is attractive to me is Walker Peters.
Carl Walker Peters at Southampton.
Kufal mixtures of fixtures, but 15 game week. I think Kufal's fixtures are still not too bad, and it's only 4.6.
Target.
Yeah, Matt Target stand out for me.
Well,
Target as well. I mean, but of course, if you need
not for this
week. Yeah, not for this week.
He did assist the disallowed Ollie Watkins goal, didn't he, as well?
Mm-hmm.
That was marginally offside. But we're going to switch to the Twitter account now, and I'm going to ask some questions from the FPL community. I Am Thinker asks, do you think investing in Mahrez is a good option, keeping in mind Pep Roulette? But now that City have qualified to the next stage of the Champions League. Marin, I'm going over to you for this because you did give Mahrez a shout just now.
Yeah, I checked his numbers, actually. In the last 5, he's only been benched 5% of the minutes in the last 5.
In the last 5. Integral, wasn't he?
16 shots, 11 in the box, 9 on target. He didn't play yesterday. He was rested yesterday. I think there's more to come.
Okay.
Genuinely, more to come with him.
Well, especially if he plays anything close to what he did last week.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
But Fulham are nowhere near as bad as they were. We've got to remember that. This is nowhere near as this is not West Brom or Sheffield United, because I think those two are whipping boys now. I think you can nearly pretty much say that those two are. Whereas Fulham, I think, are just showing some green shoots of recovery, perhaps, a little bit. And I think that's obviously noticeable against Leicester as well.
FPL Hammer asks, what the hell are you guys doing with your Villa assets? Now, we've already covered that, so FPL Hammer, you'd have to watch the show over and see what the boys have said in regards to Villa and Newcastle.
I was going to say, Craig, the one thing we didn't mention about Villa was about the goalkeepers.
Well, that was the second part to his question, right, which is Also, who is a good replacement for Martinez. So that brings us nicely to your stats on goalkeepers, Mariner, which I will get up now.
Yeah, there we go. What I did is I crunched the numbers on goalkeepers in the last for the season so far, and you can see that Mendy is standout with respect to clean sheets. Very, very good, very, very good performance with respect to 83% chance of him a clean sheet when he's playing at the moment, which is ridiculous. obviously going to regress, but even then, he's a standout option. What it does show, of course, is that Martinez is not that bad.
Yeah.
And this is the point I keep saying. If I'm not sure if you're on a wild card or if you've got a transfer, if you've got the ability. I think if you're on a wild card, actually, I don't think I would make a transfer if I go burn one, because you've got to make another one back, haven't you, perhaps, maybe, if you want. But Mendy is a good option, I think, as a wild card at this moment in time. And I would have no bother in doubling up on Chelsea defence at this moment, even if you had Chilwell. So I wouldn't be worried about that at all. Meslier from Leeds, again, he's going to get save points, isn't he? Look, 2.6 every 90. You can see the save data there. Mendy's obviously is a clean sheet merchant. He's not making many saves. Obviously, doesn't need to because the other team can't get the ball, right? But when you look at Leeds and things, and even McCarthy, again, still not a terrible option. Although I think Southampton have gone off the boil a little bit, perhaps personally. But I certainly think that if you're on a wild card and you need to do something, then I think I would do something with a goalkeeper. But I wouldn't do it otherwise.
Okay. I'll take that one off, and we'll go to the next one. So interested in what your thoughts are for managers with 3 Villa assets. We've covered that. I'm going to look at it as an opportunity to shift from Target Martinez, as I have 2 free transfers. But that leaves my Jota, KDB, Salah, Antonio, Rafinha moved in tatters. So happy I've got 2 free transfers. What are your thoughts? Now, I'll repeat that one because it's a little bit long. But basically, he's asking, he's going to get rid of Target and Martinez because he's got 2 free transfers. But that leaves my Jota, KDB, Salah, Antonio, Rafinha moves in tatters. Not too sure how that works from a defender and a goalkeeper. But yeah, I don't really know where we're going with this, to be honest with you.
Well, I mean, look, my perspective on this is, I would look for another weak link other than Target or Martinez, quite frankly, because these players are in there for a reason. You would not have took them out had it been for this postponement this week, I'm sure.
Yeah.
So why take them out if if you've got another weak link where you can find a way to put yourself an extra player on the pitch if needed, then do. But I don't know that I'd be taking these players out. That's my feeling. As for Jota, I wouldn't fall over yourself hurrying Jota in this week. I'm not quite, but certainly I think I'd be quite interested next week as a second Liverpool asset, because they called it the Trident last night, didn't they? I think I read it somewhere that they're saying it might be the Salah, Mane, and Jota Trident.
Well, yeah. I mean, Firmino looks like he's missing out on that one big time, isn't he?
Yeah. So if that's the case, then that could be really tasty, I think. So that's my perspective. He mentioned Rafinha.
Yeah. Rafinha got mentioned. Yeah.
Come back to him later. I quite like the look of him.
Yeah. If you boys could just get your Twitter account open, and we didn't manage to get FPL Matches team up, but he has tweeted it to us. And he goes, "Here's my team. Feel free to roast it or suggest what to do with it. I appreciate anything, actually. Sitting at 1.5 million, I need to get the hell out of the million ranking. It's frustrating." Now, I know FPL Match is watching. I've seen you up there. How you doing, mate? Thanks for supporting as always. Very active on our Twitter and our videos that we do post up. So let's try and help him. He's got Martinez and Button in goal, which is, like you said, isn't too bad.
Craig, I actually put up. I just shared his the screen.
Yeah. Oh, perfect show. Nice stuff. So we'll just have a look at that. He's got at the back. He's got Chilwell, Dallas, Kilman, Kufal, and Target, and in midfield Bruno, KDB, Ziyech, Basuma, and Grealish. And up front, he's got Kane, Calvert-Lewin, Bamford. There's not a lot wrong with this team, to be honest with you guys, just looking at it.
Yeah, looks good to me actually for game week 11. I might just even hold.
Yeah, I mean, obviously he doesn't get a keeper out. I'm not sure. I mean, he's definitely got one free transfer. I should think.
Oh yeah, he has one.
No, he's got two. Sorry, he's got two up there.
Yeah, he has to use one.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, just looking at it, I mean, Basuma, is that someone that you kind of upgrade?
I'd play him personally. Basuma looks to me, clearly he's there as a fill-in player, but this is the exact sort of week where you could do it. I think it's important for him to make sure that he only uses one move, so that he's got the ability to do more next week.
Yeah.
There's two options. Clearly, he's got some money in the bank, so he could always go up Martinez up to Mendy, given the fact that he's already got target as well. So he's still got Aston Villa defence cover. So that would just mean you're doubling up on Chelsea instead of Aston Villa.
But would that hamper his move up to Salah?
I don't know. The other option is a very small move. I think both of these are relatively small moves. The other move, which might be quite interesting, given the fact they've got some pretty good fixtures coming up, might be Kilman to Lamptey.
Yeah, that was the one I was thinking of. I think Kilman might have lost his place. I mean, we talk about the Pep roulette while we're on it. I mean, we talk about the Pep roulette. What about this Nuno roulette? I mean, Saiss has come in and out of the team. Marcal has been in and out of the team. Kilman has been in and out of the team. Traore, you don't know whether he's starting or he's going to be off the bench. But now they have a real problem up front, Wolves, haven't they? With Jimenez obviously off injured. Does Silva play? Does Neto, who I think you've been talking a lot about, Joe, on our group chat, you reckon he's going to play up front, and that could be some real value in the midfield?
I mean, Joe, I mean, I'm not. You mentioned Neto, but from my perspective, I'll just make a general point that if you want to come on Neto, I've stayed away from Wolves for a reason this year, and I can't figure them out. Whereas in the past, I've been able to work out who's playing where. I can't this year.
Yeah. I mean,
and then got rid of him quite quickly. I genuinely can't work out what they're doing at the back, like you said, Craig. So my perspective is the fixtures aren't great. I'm leaving them alone.
Yeah. I mean, another. If you want to chase some upside, Matcha, you can probably do Ziyech to Mahrez.
Yeah, but Ziyech has got a great fixture against Leeds, right?
Yeah. And I think, and I have a feeling if he does, I mean, he could potentially downgrade Kane next week to fund a Salah move. But I mean, I think if he saves that money with the upgrade, he could possibly look to maybe even downgrading Calvert-Lewin a little bit, using that extra money to top up to get Salah in.
Yeah,
if that works.
Yeah. I mean, that's a possibility. There are some players. I think again, Calvert-Lewin now is starting to be one of those players who is just starting to be a little bit problematic. He's still very highly owned, which is the risk, of course, if you get rid of him. I think if I was going to Salah from that team there, I would downgrade Ziyech next week, and I would downgrade Kane.
All right, perfect. Matcha, hope that helps you. Astralicious says, "Hi guys, how you doing? Good to see you coming on and watching the show." A few questions that came in while we were covering the Twitter questions from the community. VJ Garth goes, Mahrez will blank. It's the king of game week curse. We've all been there. We've all experienced it. Man, you just never know, but it is Fulham that City are up against, and Mahrez seems to me be the man in form. Ali Sufyan Ruslan asks, should I do Kane to Vardy to bank some cash for Grealish to Mahrez for game week 11? Currently 0.7 in the bank. So he's asking, should he do Kane to Vardy to bank some cash for Grealish to Mahrez for game week 11 with 0.7 in the bank?
I mean, there is an upside there, isn't there?
Mm-hmm.
There is an upside there. It's not necessarily something that I would do, I don't think. But
Yeah.
you look at it like that, depends how much he's got. Again, for me, I would be bringing Grealish back in. So perhaps if he's only just got Grealish in the last week or two and he's not got much money, it's relatively easy for him to buy him back, I suppose. Then that's a possibility. Whereas I think I would almost price myself out if I went away from Grealish now. So, but I mean, look, that's a similar sort of move to what I did the other week when I went Son and Rodriguez, right? I went KDB and Jota, and it paid off. So, Vardy, we've already said he likes his celebrations against Sheffield United. We said that last.
You did, yeah.
His stats are far better away from home than at home as well.
Well, a bit less than general, isn't it?
Yeah. So, again, that's an option. It's an interesting one. It's a gamble because it probably means you might have to hit your way out of it again in the future. But why not?
Yeah,
why not?
Yeah, I would do it. Firstly, because I mean it depends on your team. Since it seems that you have Grealish, it depends on who comes in for Grealish in your team. And seems like is it with 2 free transfers or only 1? If it's for 2, then the person who comes in for Grealish is probably like what, Bissouma. Maybe I would do it, because the upside is there. And
go on, Joe. So
because if let's say Mahrez somehow gets benched or limited minutes, I think he can still do a lot of damage to Fulham.
Yeah.
And Vardy against the current whipping boys, of the Premier League. So that is also another upside that we can consider.
But what about Kane against Arsenal? Now, we know he always pops up in the big games. We know he loves scoring against Arsenal as well. Is it worth gambling? I mean, we don't know who his fifth midfielder on the bench is, to be fair. So not too sure who comes in for Grealish when he doesn't play this week. But would it be worth just keeping Kane for this Arsenal fixture, or does his new role change everything that we know about Kane?
I mean, again, my view is if I was going to move to Vardy, I would have done it last week. Yeah, that was my perspective. I decided, so I'm not going to do that. I wouldn't make that move. But saying that, it got me thinking. I
mean, for me, I would compare. Like right now, he has Kane and whoever that comes in for Grealish versus Kane and Mahrez. Versus Vardy and Mahrez. Vardy and Mahrez are 2 players in great fixtures and super explosive. They have great explosive potential. So it really depends on who comes in. And I assume that if that person is supposed to be a bench fodder in the first place and comes in because Grealish was out, I wouldn't expect him to be, to be an explosive player. So I would do it.
You would do it, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, then you've got it.
Did we work out whether he had any free transfers or whether he's doing it with a hit? Did we work
No, it wasn't mentioned.
He didn't mention after that.
No.
Okay.
We're going to go to some of the other comments and questions that we have on the live chat. Astrolicious1, the postponement game is a nice test to see how people behave and how they should not panic, in my opinion. He's got a point. I mean, it's very interesting. I mean, I think with FPL and the Premier League, it's a whole new kind of situation for us. I can't remember the last time a game was postponed so close. And obviously it's never been done because of this reason. But it's interesting. So we're all in a very weird position right now. And it'll be very interesting to see how FPL managers react to this. BJ Garv, question. Will you do a watch along of the match? I don't know which one he's on about. There's quite a few, but Are we doing a watch along this weekend? I'm just looking at the fixtures now. On Saturday, we've got Burnley Everton. Yeah, not so interesting. At 11 o'clock, it's Man City and Fulham. I expect a lot of City captainers for this one. And then it's West Ham versus Man United. And then it's Chelsea and Leeds. Now, I don't know if it's tasty enough to drag James out of his bed. I don't know if it's tasty enough to keep you up until 6 a.m. Mariner. I know it's
I keep you to sleep.
but what a fixture that is, the Chelsea Leeds. I didn't realize that was a 4 a.m.
That would be a tasty one.
Yeah, definitely. And even I think the two before that, obviously West Ham United, I think it's going to be a nice, interesting fixture with West Ham obviously improving leaps and bounds this season. But also the City Fulham, just because of the KDB captainers and the potential Mahrez transfers in, they could be interesting. Either way, VJ Garth, we will let you know if we are planning to do it. We need to group together on our WhatsApp chat and see what the managers feel about it. But yeah, we will tweet it out if we are going to do a watch along. But we do want to do one fairly soon, ideally before the year ends. But either way, we do want to do one soon. Sheila Jayaraj asked us, would you make Bruno a priority to bring him in this week by dropping the likes of Salah, KDB, Son, and Vardy? Wow. Well, I think you can safely rule KDB out of that one. You definitely want to keep him at home to Fulham.
I would drop Son. I mean, that's what I did. So yeah, all of those four, it would be Son.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. Out of those, it would be Son. And of course, you'd have to make two moves if you're dropping Vardy. So obviously, if you've got the money to go from Son to Bruno,
do it.
I think that's a fairly obvious move at this moment in time.
Okay. Astralicious one. West Ham versus Man United will be a massacre. It could well be, but for who? I think that's the tough. that's the big question.
I think we know what he's thinking here.
Oh yeah. Well, I hope he's thinking of West Ham.
I actually
West Ham
fancy
will get massacred.
Yeah. I actually fancy Antonio doing something.
He might score.
Yeah. He also says Chelsea Leeds should be a good one. Spurs and Arsenal, there will be blood. Name me a North London derby where there is no blood. Yeah.
I mean, they could be blood, but looking at how Arsenal play and Spurs, I don't know, another 0-0 perhaps.
Macho goes, Leeds games have been really entertaining. They are a great team to watch. I agree with you. They're really good. Fadil Khan, you guys got me thinking. If Sheffield are the whipping boys, surely Vardy versus Sheffield could be better than KDB captain. Just to wrap up the show, KDB at home against Fulham or Leicester. Are they away? Let me just check.
They're away.
They're away at Bramall Lane to Sheffield United. So, well, surely the home fixture. The home fixture? No.
Do you want the cap? Do you want the cap? Because it's ready. I've finished it, so I think it's on the screen. If you want to go to my screen,
there we go. Captain metric.
So there we go. So Fernandes top.
Wow.
And it's hardly surprising. Wow. Hardly surprising. 4 games where he's had two or more returns in the last 9 games.
Wow, that's ridiculous.
Yeah. I mean, if you look at his away form,
and he's away,
it's crazy. So crazy.
Picture is reasonable. He's projected to score decent points, and he tops it, and I think rightly so. Actually, in fact, this got me thinking. I own both Fernandes and De Bruyne. I think this is going to go down to the wire.
Wow.
Oh, I hope I should have seen this,
Yeah. That said, the only reason KDB is not doing quite so well is he's had a few more blanks in his
penalty miss.
but he's got a better fixture.
Yeah.
So, but even then, it's not I was expecting to see the FDR there as up at about 128, and it wasn't. It was 119, and that shows that Fulham have improved. Jesus, oddly enough, and I might go and throw the computer in the bin later because I'm not quite sure how it's got him coming out third. The only thing I can think of is that he's played 4 games and he's returned 3 out of the 4.
Yeah.
And it's a good fixture. And actually, it's not quite so stupid. Because I think, actually, Aguero, nobody owns him anyway, so we can ignore him. But but Vardy's there. Vardy's there or thereabouts. And I think Vardy is not a bad captain to shout at all. It depends who you own, doesn't it? But I think, look, again, if we look down there, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's about 6 or 7 players very close together again. So there's some decent captain options. I'm not telling you to go out and captain Mahrez because I'm not sure about the rotation, but De Bruyne seems the person to captain if you're going to captain a City asset for me. Interesting enough, Joe, look where Sterling is. Nowhere.
Oh, man.
And that's because he's simply not returning.
There we have it. Fadil Khan, if you thought that we're going to make it any easier for you, rip that up. It just got that much harder. Fernandes is now the man to captain according to Mariners captaincy metric. And Vardy, what is he, 4th on the list?
Yeah, I reckon you can cross Jesus out because I don't think anybody owns him. So if that's the case, I think, look, you're looking for a player who you own, aren't you? So you're only looking at those selections. So I think realistically there will be. I think more people will captain De Bruyne than Fernandes, but I think Fernandes could be a very nice differential captain.
Ashulicious, before we leave everyone and end the show, he says Sterling reaching Richarlison territory for Mariner. We love that.
Last year, I reckon I captained him 4 times last year in the first 10 weeks, and he blanked every one.
Is that Sterling or Richarlison?
Yeah, he's not far off Richarlison territory to me. But no, I mean, look, he's going to have to go, Simeon. He's going to have to go some to become Richarlison, right?
He's got a long way to go.
My utter disdain for that man.
All right, boys. Thank you so much. We're going to end it right there. First of all, thank you to everyone watching or who took the time out to watch our live stream. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it was informative for you guys as we look ahead to game week 11. Yes, there have been a few bumps in the road in regards to this Villa and Newcastle fixture, but I hope we helped you navigate through that and try to allay some of your fears. If you should take out Villa assets, if you should take out Newcastle assets, keep Villa assets. That is the consensus from all of us here because they do have a really good run of fixtures after that. And play 9 to 10 players if you really need to. But if you are VJ Garth and you have 5 players available, it looks like it might be free hit time. That's all the time we have right now. First of all, I want to say thank you to FPL Mariner.
Cheers, mate.
Joe FPL, thank you so much.
Yeah, sorry, Craig. I think Ali Sophia mentioned will there be a live after this before the deadline? Speaking about the deadline, I think just to put it out here, the deadline has been shifted because the Villa and the Newcastle match has been postponed. So
it's moved to 7 o'clock?
7 p.m. local time in Malaysia and Singapore. Okay,
there you go. So there has been a transfer deadline shift. If you're not aware, just because of the postponement of the Aston Villa versus Newcastle match. So it will now be on Saturday, 7 p.m. Singapore and Malaysia time. Will we do another show before? That's a good question, Ali Sufyan. We'll see. Saturday, I'm not actually available in the evening, but we can do one in the afternoon if anyone's free.
Yeah, I might be able to do that. I reckon we could probably get our heads together and do something on Saturday.
All right.
it might be quite an interesting. Maybe just do half an hour or something like that.
Ali Sufyan, I tell you what, for you, we will do something for you. Whether it be on Twitter, whether it be on a live stream, we'll do something for you in regards to captaincy. And if you do have any questions, you can definitely ask us and we'll help you.
I might have shook the computer up a few more times and seen if Jesus has disappeared off my spreadsheet with a bit of luck.
But once again, thank you guys for watching. And if you do, like always, if you do have any questions or help that you need with your team, do tweet us. You can tweet me. It's at Craig Rice 11. You can tweet Mariner. It's at FPL Mariner. You can tweet Joe as well. It's Joe FPL. And do follow us on FPL Expectations. It's at FPL Expectations. If you're not subscribed and you haven't clicked the notification button down below, please do subscribe to us. Get notified every time we do a show if you're not already following us. And that's it. Again, week 11 will be upon us. We'll try and get another video out just for all of you. The captaincy, which way is it going to swing? Is it going to go KDB? Is it going to go Bruno? We'll find out just before the deadline. But that's all for now. Thanks for watching.
Cheers.